Hey everybody, it's Anchorman here, back with a video for you guys today, talking about the latest gaming news in this industry, and well, it's that time of year again, and no, I don't mean springtime. These things go through cycles. Like at the beginning of the year, we hear about all the major delays of the year, and this is the time of year we start hearing about studios closing down. Microsoft recently pulled the plug on Lionhead and PressPlay, and Sony has followed suit by closing down Evolution Studios. For those of you that need a refresher, Evolution is the same studio that developed MotorStorm and recently Drive Club. Last year, they went through some major restructuring when they cut 55 members of their staff, and here we are a year later. As usual, Sony is trying to absorb as many people as possible into their other studios, which is a fine thing to do, but I got something to really say about this. When it comes to studios closing down, whether it be Evolution or Lionhead, it always sucks for developers who are losing their jobs, but you've got to look at profitability. Having an entire studio on staff means they are getting paid even if they aren't working on anything, so they need to deliver each and every time. Like how Naughty Dog can work on a project and bring in the sales pretty much every time. Same thing with 343. And I know in the case of Lionhead, the main issue had been working on Fable Legends for years, and they just weren't getting anywhere. The game had been in beta for a year with no release date in sight. I can't speak for Evolution Studios and the reasoning behind their closure because we just don't know yet, but I think it's safe to assume that Sony looked at the profitability, the development time and cost, and versus the returns of their product, and Sony came to the conclusion that they just weren't worth it. But it's a symptom of our industry, really. With longer development times and increased costs, it's simply not as profitable as it once was to keep all these first-party studios developing AA games that just don't sell like crazy. As a result, it forces these companies to narrow down the field and focus on their top studios. And I wouldn't be surprised if we hear another studio getting canned this week or next. But hey, there's really not much else to say. I mean, Evolution is gone. That's it. But it makes me wonder if the studio was converted and if it was scaled down to be maybe like a VR studio, maybe it would have prevented Sony from closing their doors. But who knows? And personally, I think Microsoft and Sony need to shut down or spin off all these little studios and focus on their big five. Like Microsoft would have 343, Coalition, Mojang, Rare, and Turn 10, and Sony would have Naughty Dog, Sony Santa Monica, Guerrilla Games, Sucker Punch, and Media Molecule. Beef up these studios and let them work on two main franchises, each of which they can switch between, and make these studios bulletproof and stop wasting time with these small rinky-dink studios that make maybe 1 or 2 games in 3 years and take up the budget with no promise of actual profit. But anyway, guys, that's just my opinion on this. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.